by you. I want to take it to a serious note, if I can.
Okay.
Harp on it if you do, if you want. If you don't, we could skip right along. I want to issue my condolences because you are, by all accounts, a member of the Ruff Ryder family.
Correct.
And being an MC that grew up in Yonkers, you know, we all had our experience one way or another living in Yonkers with the dog DMX.
Mm-hmm.
Again, being a part of that family, I know you've had dealings with him, don't know to the extent and all that, but I want to just give you the floor and the opportunity to just have any lessons that you learned, any words of wisdom that he might have given, just any work ethic that you saw, anything that you could just, like I said, the floor is yours to just.
I mean, you know, the dog was special, man. The dog was actually, he was the reason that I rapped. He was the reason that I became a rapper. He was the reason that I wanted to be a Ruff Ryder. You know, I had two monumental conversations with him in the studio. And both times that I had the conversations with him, it was only me, him, and Joaquin Dean, the CEO of Ruff Ryder. It was just us three. One of the conversations I had with him was the same night that he did the Now You Fix My Life interview. That night. So okay. I was in the studio that night when they were taping everything. So exactly everything that he says in that episode and how they tried to, you know, how he felt ambushed and he thought it was going to be just an interview, and then you come in the studio and you got his mug shots all posted in the studio. You know, and he's selling her like, yo, lady, this is my son. Like, let me talk to my son, and all of that. I was standing right there. You know what I mean? When you watch it, it's a clip where it's just them two in the B room, the smaller studio. That was the studio where he recorded all those hits in. That was actually because it was two studios in there. It was the B room and the A room. Originally, when he did his Darkest, Hell is Hot, Flesh in My Flesh, and all that type of stuff, they were recording in that studio. It was only that one. Then, from off of the success, is what built the other studio, the room, the A room. I never really recorded in the A room. Murder Mook used to record in the A room, and I would record in the B room. And then all of the songs that we did together that weren't really released, I think we only released about three or four songs that we were on together, but we had way more than that together. Okay. Because what we would do was we would come to the studio, lock in, he would be in the A room working, I'd be in the B room working, and then we would go into each other's rooms to see what we were working on, and they'd be like, oh, yo, I'm hopping on that. Oh, I'm hopping on that. You know what I'm saying? So we was in there getting busy. When you watch that episode, you'll see it's just X, Xavier, and Anaya. However you pronounce her name, I know I'm messing it up.
Yeah.
Then it flashed back to another clip of an older lady that had short blonde hair that was just sitting there. And then you could see the respect level. Even though X was still upset, you see the respect level kind of there, and it changed. That lady is Y&D's mother. So, you know, we were all in there. So when everything cleared out, you know, I'm going to say this. When that video came out, everybody was like, oh, he was high and this, that, and the third. He wasn't. He was 100% sober when he did that interview. Now, he left, you know, came back. He had a bottle of Hennessy. The bottle was down there. He was drinking, and, you know, he was a little tipsy. But, you know, we had I had got into a situation at a bar in Yonkers where, you know, I was drunk. And I normally don't share this story. I was drunk and ended up, you know, getting into an altercation with somebody where I was so drunk that I wasn't even able to defend myself. Now, my pride is in the way. So now my pride is, yo, when I see this guy, I'm going to violate him all the way. Like, I gotta violate him now because this is my name, this is my reputation.
Right.
DMX is the one that stopped me from throwing my life away.
Wow.
He said to me that every lesson he ever learned in life came to him in the form of an ass whooping. And from that, what I took from it, and he would always say, you gotta find the good in every situation. That was meant to happen to me at that time. Oh, and it happened to me on my birthday. It had just turned 12 o'clock. It was my birthday.
Wow.
Right. So now you can imagine, like, I'm all the way, like, so
you're redlining right now.
Like, one of my homegirls said that I had, like, even through that, I still have my sense of humor, because I said, at least, like, now I can't say I didn't get my birthday punches. So, but through that, I've learned to never be that intoxicated in public ever again. And that was 2012.
Okay.
I've never been intoxicated in public ever again since then.
Wow.
So, and a couple of other things that he said, but that's like the one story I would share about the dog. He was a genuine person. And I just seen Jadakiss the other day. He just did a song with Dave East. And in the song that he said with Dave East, he says something like, I let your body sit in the morgue. I'm not feeling how people misrepresenting the dog. So when I seen him, I walked up, give him a 5, and I say that line to him, like, yo, I'm not feeling this misrepresenting the dog. He looked at me and was like, yeah. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Without going too deep, and me and him didn't have to go into a deep conversation about that. I know what he meant by that. He knew what I meant by just being that close to the situation and seeing everything go on and play out.
Fair enough, man. Dude, I can't thank you enough for those stories, man. I really do appreciate it. I know you didn't have to say that, again, just from the outside in, again, just a hip hop fan from Yonkers, but, everybody looked up to the dog on that level.
Yo, another thing, he told me, I don't know if it was that night or another night, like, we was around. Like, every time I was blessed to have one-on-one conversations with him. We had a conversation about writing raps in a cell phone.
Yeah.
On paper. So, we're in the studio, and, I'm writing my rhymes in my BlackBerry and stuff. And I started in the BlackBerry and then graduated to the iPhone. So I, got in the memo pad. So I'm explaining to him, like, nah, I don't have to carry around a rap book now. See, before you used to have to bend your book up, put it in your back pocket,
yep.
Leave it somewhere, this, that, and third. So I'm like, yo, I'm never gonna leave my phone anywhere. So his thing too was like, yo, what if you don't got a charger or the power go out? It's over. You don't have your rhyme no more. I said, all right, true, but if the power go out, we can't record anyway. But he said the tip that he gave me was, see, with paper, you're always going to have this. When you pass, this can be sold. This is worth money. This is why I draw all of my shoes on paper. I can do it digitally, but I still do it on paper so that when I die, my art can be sold.
Legacy on the paper, man. Wow. That's a jewel. That's a gem, man.
And X was good for that, man. He gave, and this is the thing, people, and it's not limited to people that were Ruff Ryders. Any person that he came in contact with, he gave you a jewel that was specific for you. He just wanted the love and respect. That's it.
He seemed like, again, from the outside looking in, man, seems like he could bite you if he could, but all he wants to do is just come in, man. Let's talk. Like, let's figure life out.
Let's have a conversation. What is life for you? Because I know what it's like for me. You know what I'm saying? And he wanted to put himself in your shoes. And most people didn't get that. The one thing I can say, though, was don't come at him on no rap shit. Like, if you came at him on some rap shit, that was going to turn into a battle, and he was going to bite you.
I mean, he was the dog.
Yeah, so, you know what I'm saying? He was the, cats to say X is the best. No, he still is. Like, he really believed that. So even, like, when I was in college in California, like, my teammates and people in San Diego always say, like, yo, you put us on a DMX. Like, when I went out there, I was shocked. Like, you know, my teammates and all that, I'm like, you know what I mean? DMX the Great. I've always called him DMX the Great because that was his name. You know what I'm saying? I always called him, like, yo, you know, always said the Great. And I'm like, yo, you don't know who DMX the Great is? And then I would be saying all of his raps. And this is around when 4321 came out. So, yo, listen to this. And, you know, next day of practice, you know, teammates like, yo, you from where he from? Yep.
He was, dude, just a legend. Just to take back to what you said, just about conversating and just want to talk. I see just, you can see the character of a man that is going through the demons that he went through, but still wants to make sure he gives the best out to whoever he could, man. That says a lot.
Right. That man was in pain his whole life. And he gave back to others and didn't want publicity in return. Think about all the things you've learned about him since his passing that he never, you know what I'm saying? He was one of the biggest artists to do it, especially in hip hop. Think about how much bigger he would have been had he, you know, promoted his philanthropy work and all that. He wasn't in it for that.
Yeah, because you see the people that do things for the homeless or do things, but they have to be recording while they're doing it. And it just defeats the purpose of just being a good person. You're actually doing it for a whole other reason. Right.
You're doing it for the publicity. You're doing it to get something out of it.
And, you know, X seemed like the person that would just give the shirt off his back, man.
Yeah, that's who he was.
Wow. Dude, thank you very much for sharing on that one, man. Again, my perspective is from the outside looking in. I wanted the second I was going to, it could have been a month, could have been a year from now. I was going to ask you that question just because you were in that circle, man. And it just seemed like just an epic circle to be in, man. So thank you for giving us.
I mean, I've had a conversation with a couple of other people, and what I shared with you is the only thing that I would share from the conversations that I've had with X, because I feel like what he gave me was for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes back to the whole, you know, don't need to record it. This is just between us thing, man. So again, I really do appreciate you for sharing that. Yeah, wow. So, you know, one time for the X, man, I would just throw up the X. Man.
Ruff Ryders for life.
Yonkers finest. I'm not gonna throw up the Ruff Ryder. I'm not a Ruff Ryder fan, so I'm not gonna throw up the double R, but I will drop an X for X the Great, man. So, you know, thank you for that, and rest in peace to the dog, man.